Aum Sri Ram, and welcome back to My Sai in 100 Years of Sai. Our next guest is someone whose journey with Swami began nearly 3 decades ago, 29 years to be exact. What started with what he thought would be an impossible change, following a vegetarian diet, became the first step in a beautiful path of self-transformation. From serving as the Center Seva Coordinator at Sri Sathya Sai Center Hillside, to taking on regional roles in the South Coast, including Seva Coordinator and Vice Chairperson, and then stepping into national service as the EnviroCare or Go Green Coordinator after attending the first Go Green conference in Prashanthi Nilayam. His service journey didn't stop there. Today, he serves as the National Seva Coordinator for SSSGC South Africa. He has been blessed with many trips to Prashanthi Nilayam, personal experiences with Swami, and even helps with the International Christmas Committee, bringing festive joy to Prashanthi year after year with the Christmas decorations. Please join me in welcoming Br Deven Naidoo. Aum Sai Ram, Br Deven.
Offering my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most compassionate Lord Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, embodiments of love, Aum Sri Sai Ram.
It's wonderful to have you here. So, Br Deven, let us start at the very beginning. Before meeting Swami, what was life like for you?
Well, Dinesh, life was really hectic. It was really unsettled. I didn't have much direction. Had a lot of friends, a lot of going to the nightclubs and all those other vices. I think at that point, God and prayer wasn't priority for us.
Okay, so, and from there, how did you first come to know about Swami?
So, just after getting married, we moved out of the area and obviously left all the friends behind. So, married life, I was still getting used to it. So every opportunity that I had, I tried to go back to seeing my friends, wasting time. Now that I look back, I just feel like, if I knew what I know now, things would have been a bit different. But I think those are just experiences that we obviously have to go through.
True.
But coming back to your question, a neighbor where we used to live told my wife Julie about the Sai Center that's running at the local temple, and they have satsangs on a Thursday. So she used to accompany the lady from next door to the satsangs, and which I wasn't too pleased about. The one Thursday I decided, let me go and visit the center to see what it's about. So as I entered the Sai Center, I got a little bit of a shouting as well. Sai Ram, men on that side. So I got up and went and sat on the men's side. And, in those days, they didn't have like projectors and screens like we do today. So they had this TV in the front. And on that day, a video of Swami was playing, Swami giving darshan. In fact, this was one of the rare videos because you don't really see Swami actually looking into the crowd during these videos. But that particular video, Swami's eyes and mind locked at one point in that video, and I think that was the turning point in my life. So ever since that day, very few times I missed satsang.
You actually remind me of that quote from Swami. It says, "Show me your company and I'll tell you who you are." So that's beautiful. Was there a particular turning point that really deepened your faith?
So Dinesh, in 2001, it was just 4 years after I entered the Sai Center, I had a calling to visit Prashanthi Nilayam, and so we went. Swami was in Whitefield at that time, so we were there in India at the particular ashram for 7 days. We visited other areas in India because we had thought we were never going to see India again, and it's just a once-off opportunity. So when we reached Whitefields, it was only for 7 days. So those days the ashrams was really busy, and the crowds were huge because obviously Swami was present, and they used to have these token lines early in the mornings. So no matter what time you come to those token lines, whether it's 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, it doesn't mean that you're going to go into the mandir. It all depends on the person in the front of the queue. He will put his hand in this token bag and pull out a number. If it's a lower number, obviously 1 to 10, those lines are obviously going inside the mandir. If not, you'll be sitting outside. So for 5 days are set outside. I remember the one particular day in between that 5 days, there was this, he was a Buddhist, and he carved this coconut in the shape of a Ganesha. And I thought to myself, I'm sitting behind this devotee, and I said, there's no ways I cannot go into the mandir. And then I realized I forgot my letter, and I got up from the queue and tried to look for Julie. But obviously, ladies on that side, the crowds are too huge, so you can't find anyone. I came back, I sat in a line next to this guy, and lo and behold, that line went inside, and I'm still sitting outside. So for 5 days, I sat outside, and the 6th day, luck had changed. Got into a token line that went inside, and fortunately for me, I was sitting like in the corner of a aisle. So Swami comes, there's a lot of aisles that his route for darshan. So he came out gliding. You could see Swami gliding. He came straight to me and looked straight into my eyes, almost like that video that I saw the first visit to the Sai Center. I had a letter in my hand. Swami took the letter. I still can feel that energy telling you the story. He took that letter, and I tell you, that was like that was a total turning point in my life. Because when we came back from India, Julie and I had saved quite a bit of money to go on this trip. And to come back and buy a house in the same year, it's something that we never even imagined would happen, never thought of. Came in the same year, the few months later in 2001 to buy a house. I think that was like one of Swami's miracles.
I can't imagine. So over these 29 years, I'm sure you've had like many treasured moments, as you were already mentioning. Could you at least share one special or divine experience that stands out amongst all of them?
Okay, so over the years going to Prashanti, there were a lot of darshan sessions and a lot of interaction. I won't say interaction, but during darshan, there's these special moments devotees will tell you about. They will share that Swami looked at them, threw vibhuti at them. So the one session that I want to share is the one time I had this copy of the plans for the Prashanti Sai Mandir that was going to be built in Amkamas. And Dr. Gaundan actually gave me the plans and said, you're going to Prashanti, take this offer. If Swami takes it, obviously it'll be a blessing. And Swami came by and he accepted the envelope of these plans. And there was a lot of excitement in Amkamas at that time, because obviously Swami's blessings is like everything to us. And then the other big one, the momentous one that was like one of the best moments in my life, was when I was part of the coordinating committee for when South Africa undertook the Christmas decorations in Prashanti Nilayam in 2010. So I was one of the coordinators, and we've had numerous experiences. We worked at Yajur Mandirs, worked on Swami's balconies. We've had numerous divine experiences that I could share. We don't have time for that now, but I think the tail end of the program was the last day, the 25th of December, Christmas evening, when I got a opportunity to turn Aarti for Swami. And when you get that opportunity to turn Aarti for Swami, you are allowed to go up and request Padam Namaskar. So I went up on the dais where Swami was. And as I went there, I said, Swami, thank you for this divine opportunity to decorate Prashanti Nilayam. And he started to bless me with rice grains on my head. And then I asked him, Swami, can I take Padam Namaskar? And he signaled yes, and took Padam Namaskar. And I can tell you something, that was like the best moment of my life. Time actually stood still. There was absolutely no thoughts in my mind when I was in front of the Lord.
It's unimagined. I imagine your transformation was noticed by those around you. So how did your family and friends react now to these changes that you made in your life?
So obviously any positive transformation by anyone is welcome by family members. I don't think so much the friends, because I started to join different company. I met devotees in the ashram, young young, like-minded individuals that inspired me. They were doing this community service, which I didn't even imagine I didn't even know anything about seva at that time. And I think, so people started to show more respect for me. And I think people also started to ask me for advice, which was like very rare, giving those darker days that I spoke about. I think the one regret was my dad. Maybe he passed on before he could see any significant transformation in me. So I think that's my one regret. I wish he was around.
True. I think also when you are learning from other people's movement from the darker days to the light is also inspiration from many of us that also sometimes silently go through these things. And I mean, speaking of changes, was there any habits or struggles that you feel Swami helped you overcome?
Well, I think the bad habits actually got scared of Swami. I didn't ask for them to go because obviously it was enjoyable at that time. So I think they got a bit scared of Swami and they left. So it was actually everything that goes with that type of life.
So out of all of Swami's teachings, is there one that you would say you carry with you that you try to live by?
So Swami says that, seva is like the highest form of spiritual practice. So fortunately for me, the devotees that I had engaged with loved seva. Seva was their life. So I also followed that path. So I didn't do too much of sadhanas, but the seva for me, Swami, obviously every opportunity given to me by Swami is the reward for the previous seva. So in other words, the greatest reward for doing seva is Swami giving us more opportunities to serve and serve. So I think I really take my inspiration from Swami. His life was his message. He built free schools, free universities, free hospitals, something that is
unimaginable sometimes.
Also not even possible in developed countries to have free healthcare. That I think is Swami. Although he was an avatar, he was like the greatest humanitarian that ever walked this earth. His water projects are widely considered to be the single largest humanitarian project undertaken by an NGO anywhere in the world.
That's something.
There's free water to 730 villages in India. So I think to answer your question, seva is
the utmost.
Yeah.
Ultimate. I'd like to look at seva. I always try to look at seva as it's our own undertaking. So like you are good with physical, like building and stuff like that, and then there's me. I like singing. So like I think we each have our own
different paths. And even for me as well, I didn't even imagine these gifts that Swami has given me. I to measure stuff and build stuff for me wasn't in I didn't have any experience in it, but I don't know, over time Swami really gave me this gift of like helping to design even the shrine we assisted with. So those are the things that is gifted us with, the building team.
Speaking about that, it definitely sounds like Swami made you an instrument, or rather should I say in your case Swami made you a tool, right? So speaking about the shrine, like can you give me more like a background into like what came about, how it came about that you worked on this?
So when you have these opportunities, you actually run on the spot. So Swami, he will give you these ideas and give you these opportunities, but he will wait for you to actually go out, think. So I was actually struggling to get a design, because the guys were relying on me to get a design for the shrine. And it was, I think in September 2018, we were building the shrine. And I went, funny enough, ended up in a mosque in Amslanga with 3 other friends. It was a Friday, so we went for namaz. And we were standing outside because the mosque was really full. It was packed. And then when namaz was over and everybody started to exit the mosque, I went in to just have a look at what it is inside, and I noticed that if you look at these cornices, they have this internal and external design. So that was the first point. Came back, drew that out, and that was the starting point for this whole shrine, and everything else just started to fit in like a puzzle.
Definitely an instrument of Swami. Everything happens with his will, right? And talking about that, if Swami was sitting right here, right in front of you now, what would you thank him for?
So thank him for taking me out of those darker days.
Definitely.
And putting me amongst like-minded devotees, young devotees that inspire me. I would thank him for all these seva opportunities that he's given me. Thank him for making my life so meaningful. I actually have a gratitude journal that I thank him for. Every single morning I would write a page. So I would encourage viewers or other devotees to do the same.
You definitely inspire me as well. And for those that are listening, right, as you mentioned, who may just be starting their journey with Swami, what advice would you share with them?
So I would tell them how blessed, or remind them how blessed they are to have been chosen to be on this path. And if they have unwavering faith in Swami, their lives will never be the same again. So I also like to bring, just on that point, the youth in our center, our most inspiring youth. They actually run our center, and I can't tell you how inspiring they are, because if you listen to my journey, all those lost years, wasted time, and they have this opportunity, this golden opportunity Swami has given them in a world full of distractions, to be so focused on Swami and do his work, and they actually plan all these events at our center. I think that is incredible. So I think I just want to hats off to our youth, not only in Hillside, in throughout our entire organization.
I think speaking on behalf of the youth, I think it's also that we are so inspired by the years of service from the devotees in our center and our adults. I think we can take a lot of inspiration and wisdom from them. And I think it's just the only thing that we have that may be a little more than the adults is the energy. I think we just have a little bit more energy, and we sleep a little later, so we get a little bit more production. We're not early risers though.
So just to add on to your point, I think it's important to note that we had we formed a little building team amongst our devotees. First it started at Hillside, then it grew to South Coast, then many regions in KZN, and some from Gauteng join us. But it all started with Dr. Gaundan, one of our medical coordinators. He was our mentor, and every seva opportunity used to guide us and share inspirational stories. So I would, to your point, what advice I would give to devotees to maybe try and have mentors like that can guide you, shape you, and assist you on this path. Because Dr. Gaundan was really incredible. He told me that one day, Devan, one day you will be a national officer. And I thought to myself, what is Doc talking about? Something seemed so impossible with all, the things that we were engaging with at that time. But he had faith in us, he believed in us, and he even told me, just when you become a national officer, just be an uncomplicated person. And he said he doesn't even think that's a word, but just be an uncomplicated person. Don't complicate things. This path is a wonderful path, easy, and just enjoy it.
You also bring light to one of those quotes, I think it was by Nelson Mandela. He said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." So finally, to close this session, in your own words, Uncle Devan, how would you describe your Sai in 100 years of Sai?
So to describe my Sai in 100 years of Sai, I would say that Swami is in control of everything in our lives. His delays are never denies. Whatever the outcome of any prayer, that would be the best outcome for you. Because obviously he's seeing the bigger picture that we don't. And I think if we all remember that Swami is the doer and we are just the mere instruments, the conduits, then I think we will progress easier or quicker on the spiritual path. And just to share, once I heard one of the speakers say that there was this student. He used to go out and speak at all these villages, and he was a potent speaker. And at some point, his ego used to get the better of him. So when he came back to Prashanthi Nilayam, Swami was addressing the students, and he said, remember, when you go out and speak, you all are just the mushikas at the base of Ganesha, and all the petal offerings that devotees make is just falling on you by a coincidence. So never forget that. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Thank you, Uncle Devan, for sharing such heartfelt memories and lessons from your own personal journey. Your life is definitely dedicated to service and transformation, and it's a true reflection of Swami's message in action. In this centenary year, stories like yours remind us that My Sai is not just in the past or the future. Swami is alive in every act of love and service today. Thank you once again for joining us. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.